Yes, my people, welcome back to another episode of the Clean Energy Show. I hope you're having an amazing day, but if you're not, you're in the right place.
Clean energy. You know it's clean, clean energy. Yeah, we keep it clean with the energy.
You know it's clean energy.
You know it's clean, clean energy.
Yeah.
Clean energy.
Hakeem, welcome,
Yes.
my brother.
Thank you so much, bro. It's an honor to be here with you and sharing this space. Thank you for inviting me. And yeah, man, looking forward to sharing.
It's been a long time coming.
Very necessary, man.
You've got an amazing story. I've seen a lot of your stuff online, and a lot of people are learning from you right now. Your path is special. But where did it all start, bro?
Yeah, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate the acknowledgement of my journey and my path. Obviously, we come from similar places, which we'll probably touch on. But yeah, man, I'm on a very specific journey, and it all came through a lot of darkness. You know, it came through a lot of darkness. I grew up without my dad. Grew up single mum in a place called Hayes. You know what I'm saying? Shout out all the people from Hayes.
Come on.
And grew up, and my mum, a first generation English as well. So yeah, I'm half French, half Egyptian for any of those people that are questioning, my ethnicity, because there's a bit of a mystery. And so my mum, a French woman, in England, in Hayes, growing up, not knowing about the culture or, not knowing much, if I'm honest, and later finding out that as you get older, you realize that our parents are actually the traumatized people as well that are just passing it on. But yeah, long story short, I grew up with my brother, and I left home at 16. So yeah, I was a bad breed, you could say. I was mischievous. You know what I'm saying? I was cheeky. I was mischievous. Always getting in trouble in school. I remember they used to say I was really intelligent, but I always used to mess around and stuff like that. But I was just always drawn to kind of being mischievous. There was something about me, I don't know if it was inquisitive nature, or now as I've grown over the years, I've known that I like to push boundaries and test boundaries and stuff like that, which has actually helped me develop on the path actually. So I've actually kind of transmuted that energy. But long story short, yeah, growing up wasn't that good. A lot of emotional neglect. Sorry to my mum, but obviously the cycle continues. She probably received that from her mum as well. So yeah, physical abuse and all that kind of stuff. And I kind of turned to a crime, man. I kind of got into crime probably pretty much early on, standard shoplifting in the ends, not having the money in school. Really from year 6, I really remember when other kids had money at school, and I used to be Woolworths, Hayes Town, Woolworths, cans of drink and all that kind of stuff. So it kind of started really early that I was pushing the boundaries, but the real crime was when I started doing graffiti and all of that kind of stuff. I started getting arrested from age 15. But what happened was I left home at 16. So at 16, I was in young offenders, and I remember that I think I broke down and cried, man. And it's funny because these days I learned to suppress myself so much that I really aspire to cry these days. And it's with help of mushrooms, it's happened to me a couple of times, but it's something I struggle with. So when I think back to this point, a 16-year-old me, I was crying in youth offending to my youth offending team, which is probation for younger kids. And I remember saying I wasn't happy and I wanted to get out of there. And yeah, they arranged for me to move out. So I lived in a hostel. And yeah, that really started my journey. So yeah, age 16, I was out there in the big bad world by myself. And this really led on to me kind of just living a world of misguidance, isolation, and what I now know to be rejection and abandonment. So, and unworthiness, which all ties in to the same thing. So really what I experienced from pretty much 16 was living in and out of prison. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I was just in and out of jail. all the time. And not only did I feel unknowingly the rejection from not having family support, which growing up in England, you know, like most people have got families, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, that's what I observed in my reality. Even criminals I would hang around with at least had their mum that was supporting them or something like that. And low key, I've had a bit of resentment over the years. I'm kind of that guy when I see people and families, like, I've always been like a bit of a low key hater and a bit of like a Grinch, like when it comes to Christmas and birthdays, because like I never had that, you know what I'm saying? So, I kind of grew up with this thing thinking like there was something wrong with me, you know what I'm saying? And like, if my own caregiver didn't want me, then there's obviously something wrong with me and no one wants me.
Do you feel like that trauma was passed down to you?
100%.
You know, so she might have gone through a similar situation, wasn't able to find the powers to stop the cycle, and then pass it down to yourself.
100%. And that, like they say in this age, that we are the generational curse breakers in this time, because we're in the age of information and we have the knowledge. Like my mom, bless her, didn't have the knowledge of healing and all this kind of stuff back in the day. But funnily enough, I kind of despised my mom. It sounds mad. My whole life, because I felt rejected and like hurt for, you know, not having the things that I deemed that I felt like I deserved, and like what I saw other people have. And then just literally, like I said, growing up in the system, in and out of prison, hostels, even the system rejected me. They never used to house me and stuff like that. So I was really just left alone and just back on the streets, hustling, doing what I can to survive.
Because I've been in a similar situation to you, I feel like you learn these things because you didn't know that when you was going through it. You didn't think about, oh, you never had the information.
I hate it.
yeah, exactly. Of course. And there's just a lot of resentment. But as you go on your journey, you realize that, you know, they didn't have as much information as us. Does that help now or not?
Yeah, well, I got two responses to that. It wasn't until I was 27 that I fully started to forgive my mum.
Okay.
So I came on the path officially when I was 26. I had my like spiritual awakening at 26. My life changed. As mad as it sounds, on my spiritual awakening, I ended up in prison in Spain. And there was an English teacher there, and he was writing a book about 10 inmates' lives. And he found out a bit of my story and was like, yeah, I want to write about your life. So I was speaking to this guy, and I've never received like counseling before. I never spoke. I was a very timid child. Like all the things I'm good at now, like speaking, articulation, a lot of things, they all come from the other end of the spectrum, which I wasn't good at. So I had to learn these things as I went along. So yeah, growing up, it was horrible for me, like along with the rejection, the abandonment. I was very timid, shy, very just constant life of depression, very low mood. So yeah, I never really spoke or reached out.
Just to stop you there, say if you had the choice now to start your life again and your path wasn't like that and things are a bit smoother, but you wasn't the man you are today.
I wouldn't change nothing, bro.
Okay.
Nothing.
There we
bro.
go.
And it's like,
yes, tell me more about that, bro.
The whole life I was the victim. Why me?
Yeah.
Why I resented the whole world? Like, why am I the only one that has no family support system? Why is it tragedy after tragedy?
I can relate to this, bro.
Why me? You know, and like, how I didn't kill myself along the years is mad. But I know that spirit was guiding me now, and I was meant to take that path. But yeah, I wouldn't change anything now.
What you said there was big point, something that changed my mind. One of my good friends said to me, instead of thinking, why did this happen to me? Think, why did this happen for me? Do you know what? That's got me through a lot of stuff. And then now when hurdles come, I'm like, okay, this is happening for me, not to me, not playing the victim as much. Because I feel like I've done probably about my whole life playing the victim. Why did this happen? Because what happened to me and you was very young. So we was too young to comprehend what was going on. We had no guidance around us, someone to say, give us the information we know now. So I think, we got to be easy on ourselves though, bro.
But that only comes with wisdom.
Yeah.
That was wisdom, what you said there. Because like when we're in the midst of going through stuff, all that stuff in my life, you could never have told me that, bro, this is for your highest good.
100%.
You could never, like the future me could have came to me in these moments of despair.
Facts.
And if he came to me and was like, bro, don't worry, this is for your highest good, I would have been like, Nah, bro.
Do you know what? It's funny you say that. I feel when that information got passed to me, it was about a year ago, not long ago. And I feel like that was the perfect time for me to hear that. You know, and I reckon any earlier, it would have gone over my head. And if someone didn't come and tell me that information again, I probably would have never been able to take it in.
For sure.
Timing with information.
Yeah, it's all an equation. It's all divine mathematics. You know what I'm saying? Certain things happen to create certain results or certain knowledge, certain wisdom, certain experience. So like I was saying earlier, like this earthly dimension is not, it's not linear, and it's not all about, like I say, the path ain't all roses and yoga poses. I'm gonna have to get that copyrighted. That is I created that one there. Copyright that one. I'm coming for you if you try to claim that one. T-shirts coming out soon.
That. Say it again, one more time.
The path ain't all roses and yoga poses. And that means that,
beautiful.
You know, people think that the spiritual path is like, hey, yeah, green tea and this and that, yoga pose, downward dog. But it's actually like, you know, real shadow work, like really, like I say, having your face in the mud and really having to look at yourself and overcome certain stuff. But yeah, only with wisdom. Why I was saying that was wisdom is because now when I'm going through stuff, like I just came out of something recently, a little 2 week of darkness. I say little, it was quite intense. I knew that number one is temporary, everything is temporary, and everything is working in our highest good. And just because on the surface it doesn't seem like things are good, because I want to be high energy, I want to be around people, I want to be expanding, I want to be connecting, I want to be loving, I want to have that all that external energy. Because I was indoors and I was going through this whole process, but I knew from previous experiences that this was for my highest good, that I had to go through this process. And yeah.
So when you're going through hard times now,
can
you embrace the pain in the moment?
Well, so this summer I kind of was on a mad high where I didn't experience one of these lows for ages. Like the whole summer, it was just constant growth after growth, transformation after transformation, powerful year.
Did you enjoy that?
Oh, hell yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because some people struggle to, when you're used to pain, and then it's like, okay, what do I do with all
this? I was ready for it. It was time.
Yeah.
But then after, when the seasons changed, and the equinox, boom, I sunk into this thing. So I woken up to a certain thing. I'm not going to talk about here, but I woken up to a certain realization, which also stems from what we were talking about of unworthiness and rejection and abandonment, which kind of creates, you know, which allows people to overstep your boundaries all the time. And I've noticed on my path that I attract and have attracted a lot of narcissists on the path because of how I grew up and seeing myself as broken and empty and unworthy and dirty and unlovable and all these horrible things. People won't, when you see me nowadays, you never even begin to imagine the hellish narrative I had in my mind of how I saw myself. But yeah, all of that kind of stuff, when people see that, it's kind of an unconscious thing, but people like to play on those sort of energies. And yeah, it kind of comes into the whole, people pleasing and putting yourself second just to please others because you want to make yourself small. It all comes from unworthiness. But the moment that you find your value, and your worth and your self-respect is the moment that these things disappear. And that's actually what happened to me this summer. I'm saying it, I'm owning it, that this summer I found my worthiness, I found my greatness, my graciousness. I found and owned all of that stuff, which was actually always there. But because of the conditioning of childhood and all the trauma over the years, I was broken, I was shut down, and I was living in this false narrative, and I had this lens over my eyes that didn't allow me to see myself for the beautiful being that I am today. Whew.
So obviously it's clear that from the similar sort of situation we've been through, you're saying about abandonment and not getting that love that you feel like you deserve from your parents or parents. I can relate to that. And self-doubt, your self-esteem, not being able to, just not believing in yourself in general. Yeah. If someone was going through that right now, what sort of tips? So for me personally, I can't pinpoint when it was like when I shifted and I was able to start believing in myself. My self-belief now is like through the roof.
Jeez.
But people ask me like, when did that change? Or was you always like that? And I'm like, bro, it was never like that. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to find out like, when did that switch? And I feel like for me, it was gradual. It must have been. I wasn't aware of it. What about yourself? Was it gradual, or was it like a click and you're like, I am worthy, I believe in myself?
Nah, bro. For years, so I've been on a spiritual path for 6 years, had my awakening in 2018. Before that, complete darkness. I can't actually take accountability for any of my actions before 26.
Right.
Because I was completely unconscious.
Okay.
I was literally in La La Land. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I came on the path and I started like meeting like quote unquote spiritual people, everyone used to say to me, bro, or even if it weren't a girl, but like a man was like, bro, you need to love yourself more. Everyone saw it in me. No matter if they saw some light in me or I had some like knowledge, everyone would say to me, bro, you need to love yourself more. And I was like, how do I do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. Like, I get it intellectually, like, okay, like self-care and all these kind of things, but you can't just, oh yeah, I need to love myself more. Oh, it's here. Like, I've actually been through so many, like, it's a very gradual thing, but it all starts with, the right information and also the desire. Actually, the first step on the path is acknowledgement. And a lot of people are ignorant and hold back. They hold themselves back because they don't want to admit, they're too tied up in their ego to admit that things aren't perfect. That they like to portray. So the first step is acknowledgement that you haven't got it all under control.
I think that's quite hard to do, and that's why people distract themselves from the truth, because the truth can be quite hard as well. So that's where the distractions come in. But I think you're right. Acknowledgements first. I think the way you talk to yourself as well is very important. Yeah. So like you said, before 26, you was in La La Land.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was doing before 25, like onwards, but I know from around 25 onwards, a similar sort of age, really. I was more conscious of how I was talking to myself and how I perceive myself. And now, like, I'm talking to myself all the time. And because, you know, if you think about it, you speak to yourself more than you'll speak to anyone on this planet when you're in your head.
In the mental.
Do you know what I mean? So you've got to protect the kind of manner you speak to yourself in. And speak to yourself with the self-respect you deserve and the love. When did that start happening for you? What's your journey like with that?
Bro, if I'm honest, so like a lot of practices have helped me get away from this kind of demonic mind. Because a lot of these things are like, I'm not going to say like demonic entities that latch onto us. You could say that. Maybe it is. Like these ill thought forms, ill actions, addictions. A lot of it is kind of these dark energies that attach on us because there was an opening for that. But
wait, what do you mean by that?
Just any ill behaviors.
So you said it's, for instance, addiction.
Yeah. It's a demon.
Yeah, so it's a demon, and I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Going through certain addictions, I can relate to that. But I get addicted to a lot of things, good and bad. So a lot of things that I do, I indulge in.
I feel you. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
That, yeah.
Where do you think that comes from? And is that related to them things that happened to us when we were younger?
Yeah, 100%. So something, well, not 100% because like don't say anything I say is complete literal. Like do your own research and stuff. But from my understanding on the path is that, and I learned it through a thing called soul retrieval. So basically, I understood that when we experience trauma, something that's so disheartening, like a part of our soul leaves us because it's too much to bear. So when this leaves us, it creates an opening. And often an energy can come in to fill the gap because we needed this. Also as a protection. So it was serving us at the time, but this energy comes in and kind of creates this, takes the space and often can be something bad, which can be to protect us. But yeah, the more you lower your frequency, the more you open yourself up to negative energies and negative spirits.
And would you say alcohol and drugs are negative spirits?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, used in the right way, marijuana is from the earth.
Yeah.
And it's the way that we've been conditioned to use it. Even me now, I'm still guilty. And like I've got a thing with weed, a relationship with weed. It's helped me out a lot. But how I grew up, like I've seen females, they can have a little bag of weed and hold on to it for ages and smoke these little cute feminine spliffs and be okay. Getting in her creative process and it's not hurting her. But how we grew up is a big stonker, big spliff because we're trying to get stoned. Yeah. So all of these vices, whether it be, drink, any sort of drugs, sex, masturbation, food, all of these vices, we use them as tools to change our consciousness. And people don't realize that food is the biggest one. That goes under the radar a lot because it's such the norm. We've been conditioned that eating is normal, whatever, and we just indulge. But why we are drawn to all of these things, and this is why fasting is powerful, because you negate all of that. I'm on day 6 of fast right now, hence there's a lot of clarity.
I feel that from you, bro.
Yeah, man.
And you know what? Like, I've never fasted like that before. One of my good friends, Ivy, he's always fasting, always telling me it's good to cleanse you out spiritually and physically as well.
On all levels.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, just to have a break from all of this madness in this material world, all these things. So yeah, I was saying like these things change our consciousness. It's like me, I go to weed every now and then. I keep it real. It's my thing. And used in the right way with intention and hopefully with some like decent quality stuff. Like, not hope I can say this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Not street weed.
No, we're good.
Even though the street weed is, it's about, but use with the right intention and for sacred purposes. Like, for example, like with my ex, I was going through all this mad stuff with her, and then I would leave, and then one day I went to go smoke, and before I smoked, it was the first time, because I knew about my relationship with weed, and someone told me I needed to change it. It was like, put an intention on it. So before I smoked, I was like, man, the spirit of marijuana, I'm asking that you allow me to see stuff in a different light, which is often what weed does. And I tell you now, I smoked and I thought about this little argument that we had. I cried, bro. It's the second time I mentioned crying now, so coming up.
Do you know what though? Now you said it. So what are the powers of crying to you?
Well, I'm probably the last person to ask, even though I mentioned crying twice.
I'm asking you because I'm a man who doesn't cry.
Okay,
and like I don't like, as in I can't, like I don't. It's not easy for me. It doesn't feel natural for me.
Of course. So yeah, a lot of men, unless someone's a Scorpio, mainly Scorpios, they love to cry. Cancer, Pisces, the water signs, they're prone to regular crying sessions, from my experience. But generally, as men, we've been shut off from that aspect of ourselves. And, from young, we were probably told that, it wasn't cool, or we weren't, even from childhood, it's not safe to express. A lot of this comes as well from childhood, not being able to express ourselves, not being in a safe environment to express ourselves, not being held to allow these kind of natural things to come out. So
would you say, like, I've been conditioned then from my environment and what I've been told from young, that's why I probably don't cry?
100%, bro.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. I mean, like, as a kid, I can remember crying a little bit. But yeah, like, after a certain age, probably no. Like, especially when big things happen to me, I was sort of numb to everything. And it's like, I just can't cry, bro. And it's like, do you know what? Sometimes I get really overwhelmed with stuff and life and everything. I think, okay, cool. There's like, feels heavy and like something's here inside, like it's going to release or something. But I don't cry and it just feels heavy. And sometimes it'll just fade away after a while. Yeah. What is that, bro? Like, I'm trying to work out, like, do I need to go to the mountains and cry, or what do I need to do, bro? What would you say about that?
Some mushrooms, man.
Damn.
I'm joking, man. The mushrooms definitely helped me cry twice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just something that's locked within us, and it takes maybe a lot of deep work. And actually, working with the medicines can help induce that kind of stuff. But
medicines,
like the medicines, like the mushrooms and all that, ayahuasca or something like that. These kind of plant medicines really help with like unlocking these blockages. Even breath work. I was talking about breath work. A lot of breath work can induce certain emotional releases, because all of this stuff is stored in our body. All the tension, all the trauma that we've experienced, everything that we've experienced is stored in our body. We think we can negate it and sweep it under the rug and forget like it's never happened, but it's all actually locked into our bodies. That's why these somatic practices such as, breath work or just like shaking, dancing, all these kind of things are really good with moving the energies out of us.
Okay, we're going to get onto that dancing point in a minute.
Yeah.
But quick one, just to go back. You were saying about, so where I'm conscious of is like, okay, mushrooms and stuff like that, like they do intrigue me. I've never done them before, but I've been to like, different countries, and it's quite popular there as well. And everyone around me seems to be indulging in it right now for so many positive purposes. Yeah. I'm like, cool. But then you mentioned it helping, like maybe bringing out emotions and crying.
Yeah.
I'm like, do I want to be in a space where I'm in with my people, taking mushrooms for the first time and crying?
So good question. Good question. What I can say with that is the spirit of the mushroom is very intelligent. And it will know when, first of all, I advise doing mushrooms by yourself. Like if you really want to have like a deep, sacred, spiritual experience, I really advise like being in your room or being in nature. But
With saying that there, so I feel like as well, where I'm at in life, I really like to see the beauty in things. So I feel like I would drift towards enjoying the situation. Or is it not like that?
nah, well, I mean, like, bro, I would do mushrooms with you, bro, and I would probably
100%.
like and help you cry and go through a release, bro, and you might do the same for me. But
And then you're talking about mushrooms helping and stuff, and I'm just trying to work out that connection of where you would do it. And then you just said to me, do it on your own. So I haven't thought about that. So you're saying do it on your own.
Yeah.
Is that something you'd recommend?
I recommend taking a small dose, regulated dose from like a good supplier who's grown it himself, and playing some emotional music. So when I journeyed with mushrooms before, I always used to play this Indian flute, and I had this big connection with it because actually during a big dose that I had, again, I'm going to mention the third time I cried here. It's all coming out now.
Teach me, bro.
It's all coming, bro.
Teach us, bro.
I need to cry, bro.
Us men need to cry. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, bro, I was in the middle of this heroic dose of mushrooms, which is like a 5-gram dose, and I was in and out of consciousness, like out of my body, traveling the dimensions, and like I must have came back into my body, and I went to the toilet, and I came back in the room, and I went to go like change the track or something like that, and I looked at my phone, and I had a message from my mum, and like we're not in contact at all. Like, it's very rare. I
Even
hear
now?
from her. Hit now.
Okay,
yeah.
at that point you were saying.
At that point, yeah.
Right, okay,
and I saw a message from her while I'm in the midst of this. So, and I swear to God,
yeah.
I had this.
Bro.
I've heard people have like proper releases, like real emotion, because that's what crying is. It's an emotional release. I've heard about this before, bro. For a good 10 minutes, I had this. I was making mad noises. There was mad tears. I've never experienced anything like that again. But I really am looking forward to the time when I can experience something like that.
Bro, that's crazy. Do you know what? Like, there's not a lot of things on this planet, I feel, or situations that could happen that I feel like would make me cry. But I feel, so we're in similar situations where our relationship's not great with our parent. Well, one of my parents, and I'm not close with my mum. She's not in my life right now, and it's probably one of the deepest wounds, and traumas I'm going through. And I, it's just a weird one that I've been navigating over the years. Abandonment and feeling like, that not having that feeling like you have that self-worth and self-love. I'd say it's definitely one of my deepest wounds, but I feel like that's one situation. If I was going through that trip and I saw a message, it could have been saying anything, bro.
Literally didn't
positive,
say much.
negative, anything. And I wouldn't expect any because of how things have been over the years. I wouldn't expect anything. So anything, I think that's one thing that would probably send me over the edge, which is crazy. And that's probably the most deepest thing. And probably the reason why I don't cry at the same time. Your deepest wound is probably one of the wounds, right?
Yeah.
Must be. Surely you must experience, because you say you struggle with not crying, right?
Yeah.
With like not being able to
Expressing emotions in general.
Expressing emotions. And that trauma you went through, where like in terms of abandonment and you're feeling like you wasn't loved,
held,
held,
supported,
yeah, bro,
safe to express.
So, and is there, obviously it happened, similar situations happened and we was teenagers. So we wasn't kids, but we was teenagers. It's mad how that still crazily affects you. And you would think we're coming into becoming a man then, but looking back now, you wasn't a man, you was a boy.
But this is kind of it. Sorry, like the the process of being and like being human, none of us are actually adults, because until we fully deal with our traumas, which society doesn't kind of approve of or encourage, it kind of distracts us. We all experience childhood trauma of some sort of another. Everyone experienced some sort of childhood trauma. Even being spoiled can lead to some sort of dysregulated, I'm not saying that's trauma, but all of these things that we experience as kids have led on to dysfunctional patterns. Like growing up poor, you think, oh yeah, the rich kids, they got it easy. You see the rich kids now when we're at this age, and they're messed up as well.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
they're
yeah,
heavy on the drugs, they're mad. You know what I'm saying? So it's like being an adult is all about deconditioning the ways that we were taught as a kid
to deal with.
Yeah, that's actually the real work of like being human. Is actually deconditioning.
Okay, so see, and obviously I ask you this knowing that you've got my best intentions and stuff, and this is probably some real raw content
I'm on
right
it,
now.
I'm on it.
Like obviously you know my situation, and my mum's not in my life right now, and obviously there has been a lot of resentment and a lot of whys. Why have you done this to me? Why do you not want to know me? Do you know what I mean? Why do you not want to know me? Especially when you go through life and realize a lot of people appreciate you, and you are great, and you're like, oh my God, I am actually the guy. But you're almost getting that information back because it was taken away from you, and now you're getting it back. And so say for instance, my situation now, like I miss my mum every day. Do you know what I'm saying? I miss my mum. That's my mother. She brought me into this world. I love her. You know, I probably won't love another woman like her, but she hasn't been in my life for so long. And like I said, a lot of resentment, like pain, late nights, self-sabotage, abusing myself, like, you know, bad thoughts, bro. You know, bad times, dark times. But still like wanting and missing that bond with that bond, even though you know it's probably not even good for you now. What would you say to like what sort of, and you're talking about the way we've been conditioned to not be able to control and work on the situation. So probably the people around me at that time, I had no information to tell me how to actually deal with that emotionally. That's why I'm still here in the situation. The same situation hasn't changed since when I was like 14. Do you know what I'm saying?
It is changing because you're developing.
Of course, but the situation, the work, so I've done the work on myself, but there's been no work on the situation. What's your view on that for me personally, bro?
I'm in the same situation, and touching on what you said actually, it really hit me that, feeling rejected from your mum and not being loved by your mum. I've always attracted mother figures in my life and had great relationships with older women, and they adore me.
Damn.
Even from young, like my friends' mums, they always used to like love me and like I was so nice and stuff like that. And like even to this day, like even this summer, I've connected with a lot of like older women, not like sexually, but like mature women. And it's like I have this natural resonance with them because I've never had my own mum. Yeah. But it's like we can get the approval of everyone in the world. People can tell us how great we are, this and that, but it means nothing 100%. Until you get that approval and the love from your mum. There will always be a void. 100%. But saying that, like you said, you feel like there hasn't been progress. There is, because the more that you work on yourself and the more you develop the self-love yourself and understand that you don't need it externally. Yes, the connection with mother is everything. Nature is based off the connection with the mum. But the more you develop that in yourself and the more you emanate that, the frequency will change. And it's like now, like I do plan to see my mum hopefully sometime within the next month. It's not a thing where I have to like kind of talk or about, I've changed and I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It's more of a feeling. So everything is governed by sensations. You know, like if someone walks in the room and you feel strange about them, a sensation will let you, before your mind tells
intuition
you.
Or?
Yeah, intuition, but it'll be like
because you're going near like your gut. Is that your gut?
Yeah, I was pointing there as the gut. Yeah,
okay.
But we do receive sensations everywhere, as I learned from Vipassana. But
what's that?
Vipassana is the meditation center, the Buddhist meditation thing, the 10-day silent retreat.
Damn, and where is that?
There's one they're all over the world. There's one in Herefordshire, and there's one in what's that place? Norfolk, Suffolk, something. One of those folks. OT, yeah.
As we would call back in the day, that's country.
OT,
right now. It's country.
So, but yeah, everything is governed by sensations. Before our intellect comes involved, our sensation, and that's our intuition, really. So I know that the next time I see my mum, because I've really, really been working on myself, that the energy will speak. The energy will speak. And what I mean by that is that I know that she's going to feel safe around me.
Do you find yourself now, all the work you've done, do you feel like when you step in that room, do you feel like you're searching for some sort of gratification from your mum?
Hell yeah.
I know. Do you know what? So like, bro, I'm on this path, and
Hell
like
yeah.
the path we're on now, we get lots of people saying amazing work, great what you're doing. But I feel like, would you relate and say the one that would top it off the most is that your mum would come to you and say, "I'm so proud of you, son.
Boy.
Well done. I love you."
100%, 100%.
I
But
can relate to that.
yeah, man, it's deep. But also, in conjunction with that, like I said before, it's all about finding that yourself.
It's yourself.
And maybe this is a reason why we went on this path
100%.
and this karmic route of not having that connection, because we
So
had to
true.
go through the mud and develop these sort of things ourselves.
I'm so glad you said that, bro.
So yeah, it's powerful. So that's actually what happened to me this summer because I've been on the path for 6 years, but really from this summer, and I'll probably look back next year and be like, yeah, I actually started from here, because I'm constantly evolving. But a lot of massive transformations happened this summer. But I actually started to love myself for the first time. Remember I was saying, like, people say, oh, you need to love yourself. I actually had a moment at that medicine festival.
Yes.
I was saying about that night when I first started doing all this dancing
And this yearly.
it's yearly, but actually they're saying they're not holding it next year. But the next year, I definitely recommend for everyone to go to Medicine Festival.
Damn.
Very powerful. So transformational and like so incredible, and like so much people in the conscious collective just coming together on the same mission, same path, and a lot of beauty. And yeah, man.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a plug right there.
But you know what, basically what happened to me was I had this night when I just unlocked all these new dance moves, because by the way, I'm very new to dancing. You know what I'm saying? Dance has been dance, freedom, movement, expression. Like I said, with the tears, it wasn't safe for me to express growing up, let alone crying, like dancing. No way would I ever do that. You know what I'm saying? I was so stiff and rigid and cared what other people thought. And also another thing about the unworthiness is dimming your light.
Damn.
So keeping yourself small.
Oh my God. Yeah,
keeping
yeah,
yourself
yeah.
small. So it's like not trying to be in the limelight or not trying to be seen. It's like you're always trying to be in the shadows and not trying to, you know, all that kind of stuff. So when this year, I was at this place and yeah, I was like, dance was there. And I was like, oh, man, I knew that it was the next phase of my journey that I had to face.
Was you, what, a two-step man back in the day? Stiff?
Stiff still. yeah. Nah, tell a lie.
What?
When I was like,
Yeah, one move.
when I first started drinking when I was like 17, 18, and little
loose.
house parties and that, or even when I was 18, I used to go to little like local club like Watford. Or
Don't tell me you were shuffling.
Nah, not the shuffling thing. Nah, I did used to bust a move, but I was stupid drunk.
Yeah, okay.
Stupid drunk.
Intoxicated.
Because of
like,
the inhibitions, because my normal conditioning told me I couldn't move, but I did know I had a bit of flavor from back then. But for years, I didn't even attempt, because obviously I stopped drinking and all this kind of stuff. But
do you feel like there's a sense now when you're in your bag with dancing and whatnot, there's a sense of, do you know what? I am the guy. I'm the man.
bro, I can't lie. So yeah, I got into dancing recently. There's a lot of videos of me dancing on my Instagram that I'm currently making and creating beautiful art pieces of me expressing myself in my fullest form, masculine, feminine, embracing all of that kind of stuff.
And where can they find this?
That's on my Instagram, Undeniable Force, at Undeniable Force. Everything is Undeniable Force.
Powerful name.
Powerful name that came to me in my spiritual awakening in 2018. And I didn't know what undeniable was or what the undeniable force is. But as I've come over the years, I understand that the undeniable force is the truth. The truth is a certain frequency that you can't deny. So yeah, when you're receiving the message, that's the undeniable force, and it hits you in a certain way that, you know, you can later go on when you're out of the force and you can sit back and the ego and the mind can come in and argue against it. But when you're in the moment and you feel that, you can't deny it. And that's the truth. That's the God force speaking.
On that topic there, do you feel like a lot of people were scared of their own truth?
Yeah, because we've been conditioned. When I found myself dancing, because I knew, because I'm already into making videos, and I was like, you know what, I've got to share this with the world, man. I've got to show who I am. Like, this is me in my fullest expression. And I'm not scared no more. I'm not shy no more to show who I am. I uncovered these moves and they're great and they're flavorsome. And when I started videoing me dancing, I found myself smiling and enjoying. I was like, hold on, bro. We ain't smiled or laughed for years.
I was going to say, is that's a new thing for you, right? Bro. And to not smile, was that a place of, is that ego?
Not ego, mainly isolation. And my path so far on the spiritual path, like I said, the path ain't all roses and yoga poses. I've been, and my path isn't the same as everyone's path, I know that, but I've been in real isolation. You know what I'm saying? I've been in like deep isolation these last 6 years, and I've been very tapping into my intellect. So really learning so much. It's constantly very serious, like constantly going through stuff, then falling off, learning about it, going through these mad phases. It's been very serious. People not being able to relate to me not connecting with other people. It's been a very isolated path. And I realized, damn, and like even just in my spare time, aside from watching like videos about the path, like I listen to rap music. Like you don't see me watching something that's like emotional or like a comedy or like I honestly, and it's funny because like my childlike nature and my innocence and my joy like that I had as a kid is coming out now.
Oh, it's coming out now.
It's coming out now.
Yes.
It's
So you
coming out
lost
now.
it
I
through
lost it.
things you was going through and have been through. And now you're finally finding it
Now
back.
it's coming out
Expression.
now it's safe for me to come out. So the dance for me, and trust me, I've heard about dance before, and I was like, well, I remember I met someone earlier this year that, dancing really changed my life. I was like, oh, that's a bit cringe. Like, I was like, how can that be?
Yeah.
But nah, dancing really catapulted my life to not only, like I said, all the trauma is stored in our body. So when you're moving and you're shaking and all this kind of stuff, things are being released, but also being in your true expression. You know how confident I am now, bro.
Damn. Do you know what? I can fully relate to that when it comes to the music. So I was always a man behind the camera, filming and stuff, doing my channel and whatnot. The minute I started making music, not making music, the minute I started releasing music to the world, you start expressing your feelings to the world. It's the same
Powerful
dance
expression.
and word expression. That's all.
Expression.
Yeah, I think if it wasn't for music and you're saying for dance, I wouldn't be in my bag now. Whether I wouldn't be here right now doing what I'm doing. I'd probably be behind the camera, shying away. So I think when you find that inkling of energy from something like that, you got to tap into it,
Bro.
get into it, and that's what you've done. I see it. Your page now is a straight dance vibes. When I see it, and I'm like, okay, you post like daily, like see stuff. I'm like, this is vibes. I messaged you, didn't I? I messaged you, I'm like, bro, this is giving me vibes. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going
I'm
in
like, I
right
need to
now.
get a mirror in my room or something, just start dancing or something. But one thing I'll take it back to, you talked about isolation. We connected a long time ago. And it was weird. We was in two different places, probably feeling quite similar. But I was going through a hard time, dark time, and I was isolating in my house, not speaking to too many people, people not knowing what I was getting up to, just abusing myself in many ways, drinking and stuff like that, being around energies that weren't good for me. And I think you was out in, is it Costa Rica?
Costa Rica, yeah.
Damn, you was in the jungle, right?
Yeah.
You stayed in the jungle for a while, right?
Yeah, man.
You was living in the jungle.
Yeah, I was living in the jungle, man.
Bro, and you was doing content out there. You was inspiring me, bro. And I messaged you, didn't I? We was back and forth on the voice note.
Appreciate that, bro. But just to let you know, I was going through darkness then as well.
I know this is what so beautiful about when we did connect like that. Because we were going through similar things and we was still connecting. There was a positive vibe there, and we were still pushing our greatness, but I mean, we're still going through similar things, and I think that might have brought us together in a weird way.
And also that fuels, that kind of stuff also fuels the greatness as well. But why I felt connected to when you mentioned about the mother wound to me. Because I haven't really met people with mother wound.
We done that over voice note, wouldn't we? We was talking on voice note. And that wasn't something that I was open to talking about either. So I feel like it was just like meant to be. It was a conversation that like almost had to happen.
I remember you was like, I see you, bro. I see you. And you was telling me like, yeah, man, you told me you got this. And I was like, wow, there's another being. And I never would have guessed.
Do you know what's crazy about that? You said about it earlier, feeling like when you was younger, and I felt this for a long time, feeling like you're the only person going through that. And so, for me, it was like, I think that's when things started changing was when I realized there was a few other people, but we connected like on a higher level with that one, which I appreciate, bro, by the way.
You're welcome.
Because, you know, you can feel like real alone when you feel like you're the only person, when you feel like you're the only person going through something, boy, like it leads to dark times, bro.
For sure.
It leads, and I feel like that's one thing I want to do with Clean Energy is try create enough awareness for people to realize they're not alone in the things they're going through. And I know you're real good at doing that as well. Because
there's support out there.
There's support. But I think open conversation like this and the kind of work that you're doing now is great work. And I know you've got loads coming as well. I'm excited for you, bro, to see your come up. But I mean, for someone who was is going through something like how we was going through that time, but we reached out to each other and we was able to connect. What about for someone who just hasn't found anyone to connect with and they're sitting there swimming in their own isolated thoughts? What kind of advice would you give them right now, straight down the camera?
Well, like I said, the first step is acknowledgement. So the first step is really admitting to yourself that things are not okay and you're in a bit of a hole and this isn't going so smooth, it's not going so perfect. So you need to come to a place of humility. And I was saying this earlier, actually, that spirit actually flows through us when we're humble. You know, when we're in our egos and we think everything's fine and we got it all under control, we kind of disconnect ourselves from source. So yeah, being humble and really really acknowledging what is wrong, maybe writing some stuff down. Once you do that, it's all about seeking out the right information. And for me, I learned everything off YouTube. I keep it real. I can't read a book. I haven't got the attention span to read a book. I learned everything off YouTube, bro. Like absolutely everything from 2018, since I came on the path. I've just been non-stop. Even to this day, this last 2 weeks, I've been in a little hole the last 2 weeks I've just come out of. I've just been, like I said, the YouTube algorithm, spirit is speaking to me through the algorithm because I acknowledged that something was wrong in this relationship with a certain someone, which is also reflected a lot of other relationships, narcissists. And yeah, I kind of admitted that, I've allowed people to step on my neck my whole life. And it's not their fault because I allowed it.
Yeah.
There was a hole, there was a gap, there was a frequency of unworthiness that other people hopped on. Just like that entity, just like that dark energy comes in and fills that gap, so did these I keep on attracting these people because of my unworthiness. So when I came to the place of it actually hit me that I've been under this jurisdiction of like kind of narcissism, I'm not gonna say abuse, but narcissism. I've been keep on attracting different figures in my life. And it hit me and I was like, wow, I've really let people like take me for a ride and all because of my unworthiness. And so I acknowledged it. And it was harsh. It was harsh, but it only came to me through finding my worth that it revealed itself. Nothing reveals itself before it's time. Trust me. There's so many times on the path when I thought that I was healed and I'm like, yes, like August 19th when I had that awakening at Medicine Festival. And it was like, and you think you're in the clear and then boom, something else comes and it's like you're back in the mud and there's so many layers. You have to keep peeling back the layers of the onion. But what I'm trying to say is I had to acknowledge first that, I've been living like this. I've been allowing myself to be put in these situations. It's not actually their fault. I've allowed this behavior. And then what happened? I'm on YouTube and I'm learning about this kind of stuff. I'm learning about this stuff, why it's been happening to me. And not only that, the algorithms now, I'm receiving all the correct guidance that I need to guide me through this process and to make sense of what's been happening, why it's been going on, and how to overcome it, and what the next steps are. So it's all about humbling yourself and acknowledging this stuff, and also being kind to yourself and forgiving yourself as well. Because that's a big thing as well. Just like people tell me you need to love yourself, forgiveness as well is a massive thing on the journey. And that can actually, there's something that we missed early on. You asked me about the mum and we kind of went off another subject. I was telling you about that guy writing a book about prisoners' lives. And this is the first time I received kind of counseling because someone was actually asking me for my life about what was going on. And then when I was talking about my mum, I was like, I left home at 16. I can't lie, I think I said I hated my mum. I'm saying sorry to my mum if she watches this, maybe. And he was asking about my mum and he's like, what about her childhood? And I was like, huh? Like, my mum had a childhood?
Perspective.
I was
seeing it from a different point of view, bro.
Yeah, and I was like, hold on. And I was like, actually, my nan is, I'm not going to say, you know what I'm saying? Like, I knew that.
You can see the patterns.
I see that it's been coming down. And then I think I also remembered that my mum left home at 16 as well.
There we go.
So like this whole cycle's continued, but she didn't have the tools that she needed to rate, because it wasn't done to her and she wasn't healed. So what did she carried on the physical abuse and she didn't know how to love or all that kind of stuff. So in that moment, I swear to God, that night, I got back to my cell and smoked a bit of hash. I swear something just changed in me and I forgave her. Not fully, but it started the stage of forgiveness because I saw that actually what was done to me was done to her. And she is, the worst thing about it is I'm given this light that I can heal and the information. She hasn't. So she's been living with this stuff, and she may sweep it under the rug like many people do. But like I said, everything is stored in our being. So it's actually difficult for the older generation because they weren't blessed with the information that we have, and they've been stuck in this trauma. But it's down to us as the generational curse breakers that we have to make these changes. And what we do sends out kind of waves in the ether of healing, you know what I'm saying? So the more work that we do on ourselves, the more that it can affect the people around us and actually change the frequency of the planet, really. So yeah.
Damn. Powerful stuff, bro.
Yeah, man.
Powerful stuff. How you feeling right now?
I'm feeling good, but yeah, definitely a lot more to talk about.
We've got so much to talk about, bro.
Man, a lot to talk about. But yeah, man, I'm feeling good. It's good to speak about this stuff, and mainly to spread awareness. Like I say, my journey is not about me. It's about the collective. I was gifted the strength to go through all of this darkness.
Yes.
I was gifted the strength. Spirit was pushing me through, and we only get given what we can handle on the path. That's fact. So yeah, I was given this gift to now acquire the right knowledge and the right practices of how to overcome these things. And yeah, the book, Secrets of Living, all that kind of stuff, the practical guide, energy management, all these different tools and mediums of healing that are here and widely available. All the support is here. It's just about acknowledging where you're at and, you know, humbling yourself enough to ask for help, because the help is there, but you have to humble yourself enough to do that. So yeah, my path is now about giving back. I feel like I've really starting to fill up my own cup recently, and I've acquired so much knowledge and wisdom that I really can't wait to start working with the public and start assisting people on their journeys.
That's where we want to see you, bro. Working with the people. That's your destiny, bro.
That's it. Yeah, man.
I want to see you work in your greatness.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you too,
Trust
man.
me, you're a winner.
Yeah.
And the world needs you, bro. Trust me, the world needs you.
Man. Love that.
And I've seen that in you from the get-go, bro.
I love that.
Even from way back, but it's been very clear. Over the last 5-6 years, I've seen you with your work and stuff just fully tapped in. So I'm proud of you, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate
Proud of you,
that,
bro.
A lot of people, they don't want to give people their flowers, you know what I'm saying? And that was a big thing for me as well along the path. No one ever told me this kind of stuff. I've just been on this journey, and it wasn't until that at Medicine Festival that I saw kind of 3 different kind of elder guys that are also walking the path that came up to me and was like, bro, I see you. I see what you're doing. I respect your thing.
Love that.
And I was like,
see that.
And that changed me, bro.
Yeah, bro. That's it.
That changed me. So yeah, like
I'm glad you're getting
them. I give
them.
people their flowers 100% all day. So yeah, I appreciate everything you're saying, bro. I see you as well. I see the work you're doing, bro. And I hope to, like, you know what I'm saying, work with you in the future. You know what I'm saying?
Come on. It's all happening right now. It's all meant to be.
It's all happening, man.
Appreciate you coming through, spreading the greatness to the people.
Yeah, man.
All the knowledge that you've acquired over the years of the things you've been through. You're a true greatness to the world, bro.
Appreciate that, man.
So where can they find you?
Yeah, man. Everything is Undeniable Force. Instagram is where I'm at. Got the YouTube channel on there as well, Undeniable Force. I even made a TikTok recently. I was kind of holding back from that, but people keep telling me for years, you need to jump on TikTok. That's also at Undeniable Force. That's my thing. I claimed Undeniable Force. And yeah, that's where you can find me. There's a lot more stuff to come in the future. Definitely with us as well. And even just the talking, I didn't even scratch the surface of things that need to be said. That was just a little intro about stuff. But yeah, there's a lot more to be said, a lot more conversations, a lot more awareness to be spread. But yeah, Undeniable Force is where I am, who I am.
Yes, bro. Yeah. Come on, I appreciate you. Yeah, lots more to come, lots more of important conversations to be had.
Yeah, man, respect.
So yes, my people, another episode of the Clean Energy Show. Hope you've had an amazing day, but if you're not, you're in the right place.